All right, here we go. I'm not really sure where I'm going to land, but my first stop will be Arkansas. The truck is fully loaded, and I'll need to lock that door before I leave. And this is what we've got. That's the trailer, holds 3,500 pounds. It just doesn't feel great. These things aren't made that well, even when they got cool little mag rims on them. Got about 1,000 pounds worth of stuff in the back, 2 motorcycles, and some totes. And this is it. This is the truck that's gonna get me there. 2002 Tundra with 35,000 original miles on it, believe it or not. No matter how many times I've done this, it's stressful. These tires always look low even when they're full. I do not like that. And I'll tell you what, if one of the lessons for me to learn is to learn how to bear the burden of the things that I own, then it's working, because this truck feels heavy right now. I've got this trailer, I've got these 2 motorcycles. I'm going less than 55 miles an hour and I'm on flat ground, and it feels like doing this across country would be miserable. And maybe I'll get used to it, but I can certainly feel the weight of the things that I own right now. And carrying the responsibility, carrying the burden of this ownership is a very real thing right now. It's a very material, very physical, yeah, it is definitely in my face and tangible at this moment. You know, this is one of those things that's hard to do with regard to emotion. Let me see if I'm doing this right. I am not. Definitely doing this wrong. All right, hang on, everybody. Making a break for it. This is definitely something that is not easy to do emotionally. To really all at once bear the weight of all of the false beliefs, all the misconceptions, all of the unforgiveness that I carry. Ooh, until you hit a bump, and then it all becomes very real, right? Isn't that how it works? You just go through life carrying this burden, you just get used to it, and then suddenly you hit a bump or a dip and you bottom out and you feel the weight of what you're carrying. Yeah, I guess that's how it works. I'm actually looking forward to what I have to learn here. It's not comfortable, but it feels like there's something big waiting for me in this process. So, as usual, we will see how it goes. And I'm still in Southern California. I can't imagine what kind of horrible mileage I'm getting in this truck, but I will find out before the end of the day. I don't know if you've had the chance to look at the difference between a vehicle that's made to carry weight and a vehicle that's just made to carry people, passenger car versus you know, a big rig that's on the highway. The amount of engineering, the amount of materials, the amount of thought that goes into building something that is meant to bear a load is substantial. If you ever tried to pick up a tire or a wheel on one of these trucks, on one of these big rigs, I think you'd be shocked to find out what they really are. Like, look at this thing, for example. Those things are so incredibly heavy that if you're not familiar with them, you would be shocked to find out what they're made of and what it takes to create something like that. I've been nervous about this trip because I have never really tested my truck, and I've never really tested my trailer. I'm about 150 pounds under the max load of this trailer. This axle is only supposed to support 3,500 pounds, and it's got 3,350 pounds in it right now. There's a part of me that just wants to know what something is capable of. I don't even care if they're weak or if they're strong. I don't care what the fail point is. I just want to know what it is. I want to know the things that I own. I want to know the places that I live. I want to know how much rain before it floods. I want to know how big of an earthquake before the buildings fall. I want to know how much sun it takes to scorch the earth. I want to know how much heat it takes to start a fire. I want to know this about me, too. I want to be intimately familiar with places and things and people. I want to know what we're made of, and I want to celebrate that. I want to show the world that even in a failed state, when too much load, too much pressure has been placed upon it, and it cracks and it breaks, that I'm still here, that I'm not leaving, that I'm not walking away. So here we are, climbing through the mountains of California. It is 100 degrees, late August, and I am in a truck and trailer with a weight of about 9,300 pounds. The AC running, and this is what we're doing, and this is what I'm learning, and this is what I know. Can this truck survive this? Yes, it can. Yes, it is. Temperature is exactly where it should be. Everything is working, and I know this. And I know that the weak spot in this truck is the rear suspension and the transmission. I know it doesn't really have the power to do this easily, but it has the power to do it. I know that there's a stress on what I'm driving. I know that there's a stress on the machine that is pulling this 9,000 pounds around in the middle of the desert, up hills and down hills when it's 100 degrees. But I know it can do it. I know more than somebody who's studied it and never done it. I know what it's like on the experiential side of the veil.
On my next trip to the United States, I went with a group of American friends to visit the Indians of New Mexico, the city-building pueblos.
As I'm approaching Kingman, Arizona from the west, I'm about 15 miles from my next gas stop. It's 105 degrees. The truck is doing well. We're moving forward, but we're carrying a lot of the past with us. Some things I just don't want to let go of. Some things have good memories attached to them, but they're heavy and they're slowing me down. I want to fly. I want to fly. If I was a soldier who was incredibly successful, heroic, capable, effective, I might end up with so many medals that I could hardly run across a battlefield. And what good would I be as a soldier then? Sometimes it seems that even my past accomplishments, my merits, even these things are too heavy to carry forward. I can't be effective. I can't do what I want to do, carrying forward even the successes of my past. Those things are not who I am. All the countries I've visited, the cars that I've had, the women that I've known, the things I've accomplished, the friends that I've made, the good things I've done. Sometimes it feels like it's holding me back. It's hard to run and jump and fight. It's hard to be when I carry too many medals. Maybe the path forward is to honor all the parts of ourselves, and maybe honoring all of the parts of ourselves is to honor every part that used to exist and still somewhat exists, honor the part that is most prevalent in us, and honor the part that is becoming but not has fully become yet. What would that look like? It would look like practicing the rituals of the ancient past. It would look like living in the present. And it would look like using sort of an imagination to embrace some abstract truths that we will grow into. It means a rain dance. It means worshiping the sun. It means animism. It means a Judeo-Christian truth And it means seeing through the lens of Jesus a future that his words were preparing us for, that we could not fully understand at the time. There are words that speak many truths, one building upon the last. There are phrases such as, "If I be lifted up from the earth, I'll draw all men unto me." Phrases like, "God gave his only Son so that whoever should believe will not perish but have everlasting life." These things can mean deeper and deeper things. These are things that we can grow with, we can grow toward, we can embrace in a way that we currently understand, and also allow them to stretch us, because they mean something far beyond what we already think. And they also mean what we already think. So what does it mean to honor all the parts of ourselves? I think there are rituals that we need to perform to say yes to our past, to appreciate the ancestors and the parts of ourselves that still exist. Perhaps even the reptilian, the mammalian, of course, and whatever it is that we're becoming. Because I don't want to live like a reptile. That would be sin. Sin in the sense of going back to a place we came from. The definition of cold-blooded, not where we're headed. But it doesn't mean I want to deny that it's within me to be such a thing, to even embody it at certain points, to let it manifest in me and let that reptilian run in a safe place where it's not going to chew somebody's head off, of course. I think there are ceremonies that I need to perform, burial rituals. I think there are funerals in my life that need to take place. I think there are parts of my life that I want to honor, but also allow to die. Parts of my life that I want to thank, to show an appreciation for, and then put them in the ground and cover them and let them decay and let the nutrients of their decaying forms nourish a soil from which something new can grow. I am carrying thousands of pounds of things with me right now, and I am burning through fuel, trying to move all of this down the road toward my future. When the time is right, each thing that is not a part of my future, it will go, and I'll let it go. And I think the misconception I have that often plagues me is that when it's time to release something, it's because it no longer serves a purpose in my life or is not useful or valuable. And that's just not true. Sometimes it's time to release something that has a form of usefulness, but is not helpful in moving forward. And it doesn't mean that there won't be moments where I miss parts of the past. There will most likely be moments that would be easier to deal with using the tools of the past. There will be times where I will experience discomfort and challenges that I wouldn't have to face if I was securely nestled in the abode of the past. That doesn't mean it's wrong to move forward. And that doesn't mean that the things I've buried, the things that I've left behind with ceremony, should still be with me. It just means that the future is challenging. There's nothing wrong with discomfort. There's nothing wrong with moving into a future where moments that used to be easy are now difficult, that used to be warm are now cold. Just because the furniture of my past is comfortable doesn't mean it's not holding me back from my destiny.